Good morning. My name is Michel Eisenman. I'm from Decision Brain, and I will introduce you today to the Decision Brain Optimization Server product. Before getting into technical details, I would like to explain why you might want to use DBOS. When you work on Optimization Engine, you first focus on getting the best solution in a short amount of time, in a resilient manner. This is, of course, very important, but this is not enough. You also need your engine to be used in the real world by real users if you want your work to be successful. Bringing an optimization engine to final user is not easy. You have to address a different set of technologies, Kubernetes, Docker. You have to address security issues, single sign-on, authentication. You have to provide a scalable solution. You have to remain within a reasonable budget. And you have to integrate with an application to provide a user interface to your business users. This is where DBOS comes to support you. DBOS is a tool that you need to bridge the gap between your optimization model and your future business users. Here is how DBOS will help you to reach business users. First of all, you have to build an engine model. This is the part where DBOS is open to the solver and technology of your choice. Cplex is a natural choice, but you can go with other solvers or with your own heuristics if you have some. The second step is about encapsulating your engine into a DBOS worker to facilitate deployment. This worker will then call your engine using either Java or Python. Once you have done this, you can deploy your engine. DBOS, being very lightweight, it can be run locally on one laptop, as well as on any cloud of your choice. At this stage, you already have a scalable system that can run multiple models in parallel using resources that you control. You can now integrate DBOS with an application that has a user interface. Integration is straightforward, whether you create a new application or whether you integrate it with an existing application. And finally, when the whole decision support system is online, you have access to sophisticated mechanisms to monitor your optimization runs, replay them to investigate issues, and benchmark your future release. Let's have a look in details at those different steps. The first step is about building a model, creating a model. DBOS is naturally used with IBM Cplex. Nevertheless, it can be used to deploy and run any optimization model, whether they are built on top of other commercial solvers or whether they are fully custom built, like in-house heuristics. It can even run any computation. It doesn't have to be optimization. The second step is about creating workers. Workers is a way to encapsulate your optimization model or your computation in a service that will be available for DBOS to run on the cloud. Let's have a look at the DBOS architecture. At the center is the Optimization Server Master. This service orchestrates the whole system. It receives job requests from clients and ensure that those requests are executed using the workers available. Each worker can execute a specific kind of request, and you can deploy any combination of workers to support your end-user demands. Workers can be started on demand to control resource usage. Let's see how this works in detail. The master receives requests from a client. A client can be the DBOS Web Console or can be an application that is using the DBOS REST API. The job request contains two information: the type of job we want to run and the input that should be used. When requests are received by the master, they are put in a queue and they are consumed as soon as workers become available. In our example, we have 3 workers. Worker 3 does not know how to run the kind of job that has been requested. Worker 2 is already busy doing something else. This means that worker 1 will be used. As soon as worker 1 receives the input, it will start running your engine. During the execution, log information, progress information, KPI changes are sent back to the client through the master. All the information which is exchanged between the client and workers is archived by the master in a database. Thanks to this database, you can use the DBoss Web Console to investigate previous runs. You have access to the logs, the input, and the output that were produced by those jobs. Let's see how you encapsulate your optimization model into a worker. The encapsulation is done in simple steps. You first have to declare the input and the output that your engine will produce. This means declaring what are the type of the input and what are the type of the outputs. You have multiple choice here. You can use simple type like numbers, strings. You can use complex type like text, files, and binaries. Then you have to add your engine code inside a worker template that we provide. Two templates are available, one in Java and one in Python. Finally, using a script that we provide, you will build the Docker image that will be used to run your engine. Once you have done those steps, your worker is ready to be deployed and used by DBoss. So we have just seen how to encapsulate your engine model into a worker. Let's take a look at what it means to deploy DBoss and how you can use it from the web console. DBoss can be deployed locally or on remote servers. In both cases, DBoss services are run as containers in a Docker-based environment. Kubernetes and OpenShift cluster are typical production targets, but Docker Compose may also be used for lighter systems. Whatever is your choice, DBoss comes with a script you need to assist you in your deployment. When you deploy DBoss, you're deploying several services. You always deploy the core services, which include the Optimization Server Master, the Web Console, the Mongo database that will be used to archive the execution information, a RabbitMQ service that will be used to synchronize the different services, and a KeyCloak service that will be used to manage authentication and authorization. DBoss also provides predefined workers that include the IBM Cplex and IBM OPL libraries. Depending on your needs, you may deploy those, and you may deploy your custom workers. In any case, you'll be able to run your model either through a REST API that DBoss provides that can be used by applications, or directly from the web console. Let's see how you use the web console on an example. This is the DBoss web console. The first dashboard we have access to provides information about the archive of DBoss. It shows you the list of jobs that have been running in the past, gives you some insight on the performances of the system, and lets you get to the details of each job if you need to investigate them. The second dashboard gives you a list of all the tasks that have been registered to DBoss. If you remember, each worker is able to provide a list of tasks that it supports, and those tasks become visible in the web console. The last dashboard lets you run jobs interactively. As a first step, you select the task you want to run, and then DBoss presents the list of inputs that you have to give to run the task. This list is, of course, dependent on the kind of task you have defined. In our case, we have to provide a model. We have to provide an initial solution. We have to give a time limit for our execution. And we have to provide a configuration. Once all the input have been given, I can submit my request. This request will be queued by the master, and as soon as the worker becomes available, the execution will start. During the execution, I have access to the logs. I can get some information about the progress of my execution. And I can also see the evolution of specific KPIs. The progress and the KPI information are fully defined by your optimization engine. When a job is complete, you can pick the solution from this dashboard, download it, and start working with it. We have just seen how to trigger a job using the DBoss Web Console. Now is the time to integrate our optimization engine with an application to complete our bridge to the business users. All DBoss functions can be accessed through a REST API that lets you start, stop jobs, monitor their executions, getting access to logs, progress, KPIs, and also lets you manage the archive. DBoss provides support for authentication and authorization through Keycloak. It means that you can very quickly integrate your LDAP or Active Directories, your single sign-on system with DBoss, and that authentication and authorization are safely managed. All this means that your business users can use your optimization model in a context that is secure and that provides the right user interface. Let's see an example of such an integration. We are now looking at an application that helps business users manage their workforce. As usual for this kind of application, it provides sophisticated visualization to explore a given schedule. It lets you judge the quality of the solution you're looking at through some KPIs and some charts. But what interests us here is how, as a business user, I have access to the optimization engine that is running behind the scene. This is an example of integration of the DBoss REST API. So in this application, it was decided that the end user would be able to control the duration of the execution time through some parameters, that he would have access to the list of jobs that have been running in the past, and that he would be able to see the execution of the engine as it goes. There is also a button that enables me as an end user to start the execution of my optimization engine. And if we go now to the optimization server web console, we will be able to see the job that we just started from the application. And just like before, I will be able to look at it from a technical point of view, access the logs, view the input and the output. At this stage, as you can see, the job is waiting for a worker to be available to start. So you can see now that the information that you have from the optimization server is also accessible through custom visualization for a business user interface. My job is now running. I have access to the logs inside the application. I might be able to get progress information and KPI information if this is something that I wanted to do. And again, in the optimization server web console, a different visualization of the same information is provided so that I can investigate this from a more technical point of view. At this stage, we have now reached the business users. We have shown how to create a model, encapsulate it into a worker, deploy this worker using DBoss, integrating DBoss with an application, and using the optimization model through this application. Now it's time to monitor your system, review potential issues, reproduce them and correct them. Everything you need to do with a real application. And this is something where DBOS will help you. DBOS provide a unique way to support you in those maintenance activities. And this is thanks to its archiving features. So let's see on a real example how to use this feature.
So let's imagine that you have an application in production, which is using DBOS to run optimization engines, and that these runs are happening many times a day. Those runs may be dependent on data that's coming from an external system. And so you get a call by a business user or by an IT guy telling you that there was a crash at a given time. And now you have to find the issue. Thanks to DBOS, you can get into the web console. And as you can see here, you have a vision of all the runs that have been happening in the last few days. And you can spot immediately if one of the runs was a failure. What's interesting is that you can go further than this. You can click on the details here. You'll be able to see the logs of the run. But even more than this, you can get the inputs that were sent to the job at the time of the failure. It means that even if your external system have changed since the crash, you still have a snapshot of the data that the engine received, and you can reproduce the problem immediately by downloading this data and running locally on a laptop. This means that even in production, you have access to the context of a potential failure. You can reproduce it, correct your engine, and redeploy if necessary. If the issue is coming from data, you can point the problem in the data. And more generally speaking, because of all those logs files and all those input and output that are produced, you can set up a whole set of tests that you will be able to use for debugging, for improving your engine, but also for benchmarking in the future.
It is now time to end this presentation. I would like to thank you for attending. And I will summarize what we have seen today. I've introduced you to Decision Line Optimization Server and shown how this tool can help you as an optimization model developer to bring your optimization model to business users in the form of a deployment that can be used within applications. We have gone through the different features of the Decision Line Optimization Server, the fact that it supports multiple solvers, the fact that it is lightweight and can be deployed locally or on clouds of your choice, the fact that it is scalable and robust, and last but not least, we have seen some of the features it provides for production system maintenance. I would like just to add that we are working at adding benchmarking features to this product, and it will be coming in a future release. So once again, thank you for remaining with me all that time. You will find here a few interesting links, as well as my email address if you want to get more information about this product. Do not hesitate to get in touch with us. We'll be very happy to answer your questions. Thanks again and have a great day.